When we think about Callaway and we think about AI, we think about the AI smoke driver, we think about the AI smoke irons. But today we have the brand new Ai200 iron, so a player's distance iron, which has been 10 years in the making, as you can see by this limited edition Apex golf ball. And these for me could be an iron that could dominate for Callaway, could really get them in that contention with the P790 in this category. You can see there, nice and high launching straight towards the left hand side of that green, perfect distance just off the side of the green, but felt exceptionally easy to hit. And that's exactly what we would expect from a forged hollow body club and from the Apex range. But when you think about Apex, what do you think? Do you think the Apex DCBs? Do you think the Apex Pros? These could be certainly a great option for you to look at. And guys, if you are new to this channel, then welcome to this channel. Please consider hitting that subscribe button below. We are trying to get to 50,000 followers on the channel by the end of the year. And guys, if you've been a subscriber for a while, I hope you're enjoying the content. Thank you very much for the support. Let's get into talking about these Callaway irons. So when we think about a player's distance iron, we often think, what lofts do they have? What are the specs, and obviously who are they designed for, who are they aimed at? And these clubs for me are going to be competing with that P790, which we know has been probably the market leader for a long time since they first came out. But 10 years in the making here, and for me these could really obviously put the cat amongst the pigeons. There's a lot more options now in this area which are performing well, but lofts you'll see on the screen, so a little bit stronger than the P770s at the 4 iron, so 1 degree stronger. But for me it's the bottom end of the club where we can see there's 2 degrees. It's a 43 degree pitching wedge, whereas the P770 is at 45. So this is where, for me, when people start to think about these clubs, they often think they go too far. Would that put you off? Would it make you have to get another wedge at the bottom end of the bag? I'm not so sure. And for me, obviously, when we talk about that pitching wedge being a little bit strong, like this one is at 43 degrees, can we still get control? Again, this is a little bump and run around the edge of the green. Can I control that? The answer is yes. Distance control good there. It was more my direction that was poor. And Callaway have also brought out the Ai300s, which you'll see on screen now. Again, just like the P770s, thicker top edge, a little bit of offset on those, exactly what you would expect. And they've also brought out the AI Fusion irons, which hopefully I'll get my hands on soon. Again, price point for those is certainly something to talk about. But a straightforward par there in the end. Let's test the long irons. Now the long iron behind the golf ball does have that little bit of offset there, which can give you that little bit of confidence to stop that ball maybe leaking out to the right. But again, a nice top edge on there, not too thick, a little bit of a shorter blade length there. Does that give you confidence, or would you need a little bit more behind the golf ball? And that's what you have to think about when you are buying your clubs. Do you have a 4 and 5 iron? Maybe potentially you could go the Ai200s. In the lower clubs, maybe from 6 iron down, and your 5 and 4 iron, if you have one in there, could be the Ai300, a little bit more forgiving. Potentially that is an option for you. Obviously a mid-year release here, so would you be looking at getting clubs at this time of the year? Comment below, guys, or do you look for your new clubs just when the season's coming up, maybe between January and April? Taking on the corner there, and that should be just about right there. For me, obviously straight away there, the launch is the big thing that we want to talk about, because when we're looking at long irons and we're looking at maybe getting rid of those or having those in there, this is where the Ai200 and these hollow body clubs now are certainly getting you that launch. So they're able to get those long irons launching high with less spin, so you're still getting your distance, but those lower irons are still having a lot of control, which you saw in the last hole. Yes, slightly missed the green, but a good launch, pin high, so exactly what I want really from a club. So this is an interesting market at the moment. So obviously with these hollow body designs, these players distance irons, there's a lot more coming to the market. So Taylormade have had probably the market share for a long time with those P770s, and comment below if you've got those clubs, guys, if you're enjoying your P770s, and if maybe you've got the latest, the 2024 model. But Callaway are now trying to get into that. So far these clubs are ticking a lot of boxes, So again, handicap range, who would they be for? And I'd more than likely see people again in the low single figures, maybe plus handicap, using these depending on age of golfer and again speed, club head speed, because you might want that launch, you might need that little bit of extra distance. But then also those people getting into the game, those people who have a lot of speed, want some clubs that are still forgiving, and these could again be a great option, just like the P770s, just like the Gen 7 PXG 0311 P irons. So a lot of options on the market, but which ones are you favouring towards and why? So interesting enough guys, up here on the fairway I've got two golf balls. I hit one with these Callaway Ai200 irons, and I also hit one with the brand new P790 irons. So interesting there, two fantastic strikes. The Callaway is a little bit further, but let's jump in the studio and test these out for numbers. Comment below if you want to see me put them against the P770s in another video. So now inside, the big question with these Ai200s is how far will they go? Are we going to see a big difference in these? Stronger than the current irons that I use, obviously in the Wilson staffs, but let's see what they do. 165 will be my normal 8 iron. So again, a good strike. One thing for me, these irons do feel incredibly soft, which is a big thing that you would look for. Right, so straight away there, 171 carry going 177. So over 10 yards further what I would normally play that. Let's just see if that was a one-off. Again, sound and feel is fantastic. I do really enjoy these irons. That one looks long again, 171 going pretty much to 180. So straight away there, total up 15 yards on potentially what I would play this as. So let's go back one to 175. Again, not a bad thing, because again, these irons wouldn't be something that I maybe would put in my bag just because I'm going to see a big gap at the bottom of the bag. But for you, if your 8 iron normally goes 140 and this jumps you up to a 150, 155, I'm sure you would be happy, especially with that towering ball flight. So you're going to carry that a little bit further, get that launch and get the landing angle. Again, nice towering flight there. I've moved it back and that's there, 170. So consistent with how far it's going. There, 8 iron, it's going at 7,200 spin, which is exactly what we would expect. It used to be around about, if whatever was on the bottom, that's how much spin we'd expect to see. Now with the loft changes, we are seeing that it's around about 1,000 less than the number on the bottom. So one more here. That's another nice strike there. Not feeling like I'm having to get that launch, it's certainly doing it itself. 173, stopping at 175, so certainly stopping quick. But this is where, for me, we need to look at the bottom end of the bag. And you will have seen outside that we did get that high launch with that 4 iron, but now what's going to happen with the pitching wedge? Is it going to go too far? So I'm going to set this at 153 yards. Normally for me, I would say a good pitching wedge would be around about a 135, but going off what we've just seen, this might get up there to 150. Again, nice towering flight. Even here with this, you can see a little bit of offset on the pitching wedge, but carrying there 145 going 150. So exactly what I expected from this club. But this is where, for me, at the bottom end of the bag, I would have then maybe too many options. I'd have to start to play half shots, maybe put an extra wedge in. Am I then going to lose something at the top end of the bag? But again, don't forget, these irons are not directed to someone, are not directed maybe to myself, a PGA professional, but these could be, again, a single figure golfer, they could be a plus handicap golfer, or they could be somebody all the way up to the 20s, even the 30 handicap, because we are getting good distance, good ball flight. That could be exactly what you're looking for. But one more from this distance. Interesting there, a little bit low on the face. We've still got that exact same carrying a little bit of backspin there. 144 going 147, so stopping quick, so still plenty of spin there and spin control. But the shot I would probably, or the shot I do play with this, is around about a 120 shot. This is what I would normally play with my pitching wedge from the Wilson set, but can I get control from here? Can I keep it on the green, or is it a little bit too difficult? Again, I've tried to take some off. Taking a little bit too much off there. Again, spin-wise, 6,000. So still getting plenty of spin there. Just need to, again, this might be something that you need to practice on the driving range. Certainly go, maybe you get these new clubs, go and get a gap in session, go to see your local PGA pro and get these gapped. So again, I feel like that's a good swing on there. Will it stop? Ran out 8 yards, so it has run out a little bit more, but that has held the green, and this is an incredibly tight green to hit, so I can play that, and it maybe just takes a bit of practice. But this for me is why these Apex irons, the Ai200s, are a fantastic option and could potentially dominate this area, because you are getting that little bit more distance maybe than your P790, but you're also getting that launch. Let's jump back outside. Now this has always been an area and a talking point for me when it comes to hollow bodied clubs, because we've got a distance here, I'm guessing, of around about 130 yards, and yeah, 135 there. And this is where for me that would be a nice controlled pitching wedge, but this pitching wedge, as we know, the current set I use, pitching wedge is 46 degrees. This pitching wedge is 43, so 3 degrees of difference. What ball flight are we going to get? But more importantly, can I control this? Because again, if you were a single figure golfer, or even if you was in the teens and you want to be able to control this pitching wedge, yes, you might be a little bit closer. But if you need to take a little bit off that, can you still get it stopping on the green? That's the big question for me. But maybe it would just mean a little bit of practice on the range is required. Again, feel fantastic, and that has launched extremely high, lands nice and soft, and that is pin high, so it has done the job that you would expect from these irons. Yes, it's launched higher than maybe I would like to see with the ball flight. Could I launch it lower? Let's hit another one and let's see. So just like I planned it, I had another one in the pocket ready. Right, now I'm going to try and launch it a little bit lower. So I'm going to put this back in my stance, and this is just for me. Can I get the flight that I would desire to put these golf clubs in my bag? And this is when you go for a fitting, you want to make sure you're getting the flight that you want to see. And that has launched lower, straight towards the flag. Will it spin? And yes, we'll zoom in on that shortly. But that has gone nice and close, did launch lower, and it did get the spin control. So yes, we have got versatility. They're not just a long hitting iron that you think is going to go too far. So that for me proves a little bit of obviously a myth with these clubs, that they are just distance irons. So they are going to go a long way. They're not going to have as much control. You're going to get landing angle, but there you can do that. So they are doing exactly what you would want, even if you was maybe moving from a CB that you've lost a little bit of distance with, you're losing a little bit of speed, then you can still get the flight that you want with these and that control. And this is what we talk about when we want consistency there. So two totally different ball flights, one using landing angle, one a little bit more spin, but distance control exactly the same. Can we knock both of these in? But percentage wise wouldn't be great, but the big thing there is consistency. We have these chances. Those irons have given us 2 good chances at making birdies. I've hit a 4-iron off the tee on this dogleg par 4, gone an extremely long way, and then I've hit a controlled pitching wedge in. Let's see if we can hold that one. And that just comes to show how easy these clubs make it. I've not had to hit driver, I've hit 2 reasonable shots, I've had 2 reasonable chances. Oh, nobody likes to see that, but it's another par. And I do always get that little bit nervous when you see new irons come out and they are stronger, lofted, but that's why the title is what it is. I think Callaway have ticked a lot of boxes here and they could dominate this area, because yes, although that pitching wedge is 2 degrees stronger, the 4-iron 1 degree stronger, I think you've still got that workability. You've got the best of both worlds. If you want to get that little bit more distance, you can. But if you like to play around with different lofts and different flights, then they can also do that. I do have to say the feel and sound is fantastic. So guys, comment below, would you be getting fitted at this time of the year? Will you consider these Ai200s, or what have you got?